Let's rejoin the commentators, Richard Hughes alongside Peter Drury.
Darren, thank you. Yes, I think the word intensity was probably the pertinent one in that conversation. There has been a singular absence of it, as indeed there has been an absence of two or three of the key Juve stars, and there is going to be a change, as you see, to the Atalanta team. Actually, the original team sheet we saw included Johan Benalouan. He's come on for Lucchini, who has been playing at centre-half. Bellini having started at right full-back, which is where he, Benalouan, has been playing in recent weeks. So we'll see how that all works itself out. Also, an involvement now for Quagliarella for Juventus, as they try and rattle through the squad. Give us many of perhaps the fringe players. Quagliarella wouldn't like to hear himself categorised like that, but try to give as many of the squad a chance to take a part in the celebration as possibly they can. Antonio Conte, not a man given to sentimental selection or softness of that sort in any context, but he is sending out the message that it's been about more than any given 11, this latest Juventus success. Quagliarella, who's only started 3 times in Serie this season, has come off the bench now for the 14th time, as Juventus try to make a match of the occasion. Been a lovely event up to now, but it hasn't yet provided us with a sporting contest to go alongside. I was hoping that changes. Here is Chiellini. Paduin, by Consigli, who made the one big stop of the first half from Osvaldo's header. How, Richard Hughes, do you think the dynamic might alter here?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't necessarily think it's going to change an awful lot. Had a couple of changes at half-time. I can only think that Atalanta's one was due to an injury to Lucchini. Benalouan coming on for him. Like for like for Juventus, once again. Must have been an injury to prohibit D'Amico from playing a larger part in this game.
I'm sure Carlos Tevez would want to play, not least for the personal pursuit of further goals. Golden Boot's still up for grabs. Canonieri, he's on 19, Ciro Immobile is on 21. Tevez joint second with Luca Toni on 19, Gonzalo Higuain is on 17. It's a relatively low total this year, actually. It was won by Edinson Cavani last year with 29, Zlatan the year before 28, Di Natale the 2 previous years with Udinese 28 and 29. Juve haven't had the winner since Del Piero 6 years ago. He scored 21. So Tevez has 2 games and perhaps a bit of this one to try and catch up Immobile. One way or another, there's a good chance that prize will end up in the city of Turin. Rivio. Taken back briefly by Lichtsteiner. Has gone in at centre-half. He stayed at right full-back. If you look at the Juventus team on your screen there, you'll see that there are several fringe players involved. And one from the bench is Quagliarella, whose first touch, almost his first touch, was a shot a yard or 2 over.
He'll be disappointed with his finish, but the build-up play is lovely. Back heel from Quagliarella to start it from Pelusa's pass. And Paduin and Osvaldo, lovely little interchanging and movement. All it needed was a shot on target. Quagliarella couldn't find it.
His only Serie A goal this season was scored at Chievo in September. Looking bemused and amused. Amused in a right kind of a way at the free kick given against him. Morales. Feet from Maxi Morales. He's then given a pretty firm shove in the back by Paul Pogba.
You can tell that the player's not disputing the decisions with any intensity either. Maybe that time because there was a foul from Pogba on Morales. A free kick in an interesting position for Atalanta to try and work Storari. Very much a conference going on there. 5 or 6 players around it. You normally get 1 or 2 who fancy their chances, but obviously deciding what to do, whether to go for goal. It's going to be Brivio with his left foot, or to hoist it in for Dennis.
Certainly is a left-footer's side. 5 in the black and white wall. And the last man behind the ball. Disrupting the wall. It's Brivio, it's deflected and it's a corner.
I actually thought they were going to work something to the back post in the end because there were so many numbers discussing what they were going to do, but in the end it was just a simple shift it and shoot.
With the corner, back for the shot from Bazelli, still in there dangerously for Dennis, whose extravagant overhead was wide.
Well, if he had been onside, I'm not sure this was the finish to look for. It did come off. Lichtsteiner last, but flag goes up nonetheless. Atalanta had a spare man from the corner. It was Brivio on the back post. No one picking him up. They decided to work a short one, shot from the edge of the box. Conte's not happy.
Carelessness will irritate him. Juventus have conceded just 9 goals at home all season, and it's another little target for this second half. They have a perfect home record. They've won the lot, played 17, won 17. Silly to let that very special achievement disappear at the last. They still have one more home game after this on the last day against Cagliari. Safe from relegation now, so don't expect too much intensity around that fixture either. Morales disrupted by Paduin, Marquisio.
One person that will be delighted with what he's seeing and the low intensity of this game and the fact that some of the stars aren't playing is Cesare Prandelli, the Italian manager. Been saying last week, and we thought it, Peter, that Juventus have been running on empty for a while. The fact that these players have a little bit of a breather before a very hard summer, they hope a long summer coming up. It's a very good thing for Italy.
Pogba. He's only calm under pressure. Worked out for Raimondi. As a lover of Italian football, and a Scotsman might think that, Richard. We English folk might think differently. Italy in our group, there's Brivio.
I hardly realised they were in your group. Almost booked the first flight home with Italy and Uruguay.
Don't write off Costa Rica. And still they sing. They sing as much about the first 35 games as the 36th, which is going on in front of them now. Benaluan, Brivio, Ventura, Bazelli, by Brivio, behind by Peluso.
Strange header from Peluso. I thought there was plenty of time for him to direct his header out of the box. Yes, get height on it. Could have easily avoided giving away a corner.
Morales to take. Yepes amongst his targets. Fizio can chase it out. Not too much in front of him. Chiellini has managed to tractor up ahead. I said, nice touch from Quagliarella. Osvaldo couldn't dovetail with it. Lichtsteiner gathered the loose ball. Pogba. Chiellini. Mazzali. Chiellini. Peluso. Away from Bellini. Here's Pogba. Comfortable clearance for Yepes. And away comes Bonaventura. Morales. Played in Bergamo just before Christmas, 22nd of December. Juventus won comfortably. Was at a time when their appetite to win comfortably was markedly heightened. Tevez scored early in that game. Morales got an equaliser, but Juve marched away. Carmona. Deflection kind to Storari. Somebody tell him there's a game on. Brivio. Carmona. Morales. Great season for this city. Every chance that Torino are going to make it into Europe. Currently sitting in 6th. That's a great achievement for that club. Won again yesterday at Chievo. Against the odds. It's a tight old scrap though for 6th place. Aluan. Carmona. Mazzali. Taken away by Paduin. Kisio. Paduin. Saying earlier, Liverpool need all the goals they can possibly muster, and they've got at least a second one at Selhurst Park now in that crucial game. The top of the Barclays Premier League. Liverpool go top again with a win. City to play on Wednesday. Daniel Sturridge, who might not have been fit actually, would have been delighted that he's involved, and he's scored 8 minutes into the second half. It's Palace 0, Liverpool 2. Quagliarella, faced by Carmona, in towards Osvaldo. Carmona got back. Tell you what, Liverpool mean it. Out catching up those 6, 7, 8 goals they need to on Manchester City. They have scored again. And S has done it, and the other S has done it. The SAS have struck. Sturridge followed by Suarez in very quick order. Palace 0, Liverpool 3. A couple more, and that equation starts to become very interesting. The assumption has been for the last 3 weeks that if level on points, City will win the title. Perhaps not so.
A very strong tackle there from Paduin. A fair one. He did get the ball. Obviously got a sufficient amount of Morales to injure the Atalanta player, but it's a tackle that has the intensity that we haven't seen. Perhaps it was a foul from Paduin. He did get too much from Morales. The referee didn't think so. A lot of play to go on. A tackle rather out of context with what we've seen for the last hour or so.
Atalanta this year have been briefly up as high as 7th. There was a moment when they were flirting with the back of the Europa League race, very briefly, as low as 15th. They're never really in any danger of being sucked into the relegation scrap, otherwise always just either side of halfway.
There's the problem Atalanta have. Very comfortable possession in the first 2/3 of the pitch. As soon as they get into the final third, not good enough. Not enough attacking options. Bonaventura it was there, just giving away possession with an overhit pass. I would think that Juventus, yes, there's nothing at stake for them. They're just here to enjoy the atmosphere in the party. But I would like to think that they would want to do so with more of the ball and affording too much possession to Atalanta.
Osvaldo held up more physically than the referee was prepared to allow by Benalouan.
And without Pirlo in the team, I don't see any obvious candidate. See who will strike this one. It would suit a left footer. After the effort we saw from Chiellini 5 minutes into this game, surprised he's not in the queue.
Quagliarella wants it to be a one-man queue, and he wants to be that one. Fabulous scene he is faced with behind Consigli's goal. Beautifully choreographed. Quagliarella spoons up off the wall. And out for a corner.
Just not sure you're going to get the time around the box to shift it to then take it. Let's be honest, Consigli could still see the ball when Marchisio had stopped it, so I think Quagliarella would have been better advised just to hit it first time without the aid of Marchisio's touch.
Juventus always win at home, always score at home. In by Quagliarella. Gets Ogbonna. And out comes Consigli. Season for Juve that's included a spell of 12 straight wins, that sequence of clean sheets included in that 8 consecutive clean sheets. Defensively they've been quite brilliantly organised, rugged, coherent, cohesive, one of those adjectives that you like to pin onto the very best defenders in the world. Buffon's not playing tonight, but he has started 32 games in Serie A this year. How about this for a goalkeeping statistic? 32 games in the league, and he's kept a clean sheet in 23 of those. Staggering by any standards. Forward by Buffon. Pogba, I should say, Buffon on the mind. Marchisio. Quagliarella. Set back for Pogba. Bit of purpose.
Yeah, and at last they had Consigli a little bit worried. I think it goes a little bit over in the end, but the Atalanta goalkeeper just ducks there as if unsure at the end. More comfortable than at first he feared, I think. But Pogba, when he does get the opportunity to pull the trigger, seen it so many times this season, anywhere 30 yards or less is a real threat.
Marchisio. Paduin, against the club he served for 5 years, played more than 150 games. Quagliarella, Osvaldo! Don't think there was a flag.
The Atalanta defenders are looking round to the linesman, wondering why there wasn't one. And there's your answer. He isn't offside because Bellini keeps him onside. The fullback. It's always a good trick from the fullbacks when he kept him onside. Turn round to the linesman. At least the manager on the bench thinks that he did his job correctly, but Bellini didn't there.
The Europa League goals for Dani Osvaldo since he came from Southampton, home and away against Trabzonspor. Raimondi is giving way for the last quarter of the game. And it is the former Juventus champion Marcelo Estigarribia, who replaces him, the Paraguayan, who, as I mentioned in the first half, was a part of the unbeaten campaign 2 years ago, and they're going to see Tevez. If it were possible to raise the volume levels, then he would be the man capable of doing it. I'm sure his introduction will be warmly and loudly welcomed by Brivio and Paduin. Well, here he is, a title winner now in Argentina, Brazil, England and Italy. Carlos Tevez. Much warmth too for Dani Osvaldo, who may not have been full of goals since he's arrived in Turin, but has been full of good endeavour and has just done his bit. Tevez has done a good deal more than his bit. 21 goals, of which 19 in Serie A.
Hear what the fans think about it as well, not only acknowledging his efforts this season, but hoping that in the next 25 minutes, the last 25 minutes of the game, they can give them something to shout about on the pitch. Tevez, as you mentioned, going for that capocannoniere, top goal scorer in Serie A. He'll be looking to get a few efforts on goal.
Marchisio, Lichtsteiner. Marchisio. Quagliarella's hit. Quagliarella again. No way through for Peluso. Here's Pogba! Another good save. Tevez has lashed it over and wide.
Well, finally some urgency in their play, applauded by Buffon. Really good ball in from Marchisio. That's what injected the speed into the move. It found Quagliarella. His shot was saved. So was Pogba's. Carlos Tevez couldn't find the target, but a lot better from Juventus.
Well, Concili's had a good season too. A couple of excellent close-range blocks. Repelled the ball effectively too. This, if he keeps it, would be his 9th clean sheet. Brivio. Carmona. Zelli. Also sticking to Estigarribia. Ventura. Review against Lichtsteiner. Perfectionists like him would be irritated not to win, I'm sure. Pogba. Chase from Tevez. A bit more will about him. By Pogba. Malouane. Pogba once more. And Tevez. Away from Yepes. Pogba. Tevez. Just no hole through which to wriggle. Quagliarella, Marchisio, nicked in for Tevez, who is kept at arm's length by Malouane.
Good defending from Malouane at the end, just ushered Tevez away from the ball. He did feel the Argentine was going to get a shot on goal. Good defending. Thanks to the help of Consigli, seeing out the danger. But Juve have definitely lifted things since Tevez has come on. The crowd just picking up the noise levels as well. Great freak there from Pogba, looking to carve open an opportunity for Tevez, but Atalanta defended that instance well as well.
Mazelli. Ventura. Morales. Brivio. Games left for Atalanta next weekend at home to Milan, who, after their derby win last night, still have a little bit to play for. And then Atalanta finish at Catania, whose romp against Roma last evening is what set this game in a whole new context. Nice one across. Chiellini with a rather unnecessary header, as it turned out.
Could almost hear the shouts of Storari telling him he was on his own. Slightly different in the stadium, the crowd level so high, and Chiellini thinking he had to deal with it. You'd rather deal with it and find out there's no one there than leave it and find out that Bonaventura's in the back post and makes it 1-0 for Atalanta.
Yepes forward, Brivio forward, Morales to take. Pogba's header out. Here goes Tevez. Pogba taking on Estigarribia and just about getting there as he hurdled Estigarribia.
Well, it is a yellow card. He may not be happy because the referee has been lenient all evening, but unfortunately with Paul Pogba in full flow, and the reason there, you can see it, why he is unhappy. He misses the next game. But it is a yellow card once Paul Pogba skips by him. I have sympathy for Estigarribia there. I really felt he could get the ball, but underestimated how long Pogba's legs were. Just managed to get it to the ball before him. So he does, it's a yellow.
Pogba again. And against the post and in! From Padoin. It's a goal that gives personal pleasure and receives, therefore, mute celebrations from the individual against the club which he served for so long. But it's the goal the evening needed for so long. A breakthrough for the champions with less than 20 minutes to play. Juventus 1, Atalanta 0. And just the right scorer on a sentimental night like this.
Padoin gets his rewards for his forward run. Nothing more than a gamble, really. Quagliarella not winning the tackle, nor the Atalanta defender either. When the ball bounced down to Padoin, it's a really accomplished finish for him. I said earlier, he's moved inside. Normally a right wing-back playing in field. The agonising weight once it comes off the post. Is it going to go into the back post? It is. And the fans get something to shout about on the pitch as well.
And, in the immediate aftermath, Yepes is requiring some attention. But it's a lovely moment for him. He dealt with it classily. There are those in the football world who are sceptical about those public non-celebrations, but he did serve Atalanta for 5 years, played a lot of games for them. It's a goal he would have dreamt, but a goal he dealt with in an understated fashion, unlike 41,000 who celebrated it wildly.
You saw there from that last replay why Yepes is on the floor. Just caught by Padoin's knee in the follow-through. Yepes was trying all he could to get in the way of the shot. All he got was a knee to the cheekbone, it looks like. And a sore one for him. On the follow-through there. A very sore one for Yepes to take. Knee to the face of Padoin. Good finish. Absolutely no chance for Consigli. Low, hard, across goal. Capped off a decent night. I think he's put in a decent performance, playing out of position, just learning that role. He's done well.
His first goal of a bit of a stop-start season, on the edges. His 20th game in Serie A, only the 7th he started, and that's not a pretty picture at all. Brave challenge from Mario Yepes. He's a professional footballer of great longevity. Did good things in a very different era with Paris Saint-Germain before becoming a champion of Italy with Milan in 2011. Last time Scudetto arrived anywhere other than at Juventus's front door.
Always a worry when you see a player in a neck brace. Just hope it's precautionary, nothing more than that. You could tell the impact. Such close quarters here. Padoini can't stop himself. His momentum's propelled forward. Such an unfortunate accident there on Yepes, and the game hardly had a tackle. We see the stretcher on.
Actually so inadvertent, Richard, that Padoini, I'm sure, wasn't even aware that it had happened.
It happened at the same time he struck the ball, so he wouldn't have known anything else. That's why he didn't turn around. No acknowledgement that there was any contact between him and Yepes, and hardly anyone on the ground would have realised.
Whilst he continues to receive treatment and the Juventus players continue with their banter, just let me point you in the direction of one or two upcoming attractions from BT Sport. First of which is on Wednesday evening from the Scottish Premiership. St Johnstone plays Celtic in Perth. Celtic, of course, long since champions. St Johnstone chasing a European place, so it's a game of consequence. And that is on BT Sport 1 on Wednesday evening. And on Sunday, as ever, European football show, James Richardson and the gang, 6:30. And the main attraction is from the Olympic Stadium. Top two in Italy, Roma and Juventus. Much sympathy for Mario Yepes. That's a terrible accident in the scoring of the goal from Padoini, and a sight quite out of keeping with the kind of evening it is and has been. You can only hope that that is, as you say, Richard, just precautionary. Yepes' place goes to the Romanian Constantin Nica.
L'Atalanta ha sostituito il numero 33 Yepes con il numero 93 Nica.
His first year in the Serie since coming from Dinamo Bucharest. Benalouan.
This time the defensive change does require a little bit of a shift in the back four. Bellini coming in to play left centre-half role. And Nica will go out and play in the right back, so Atalanta starts finishing this game very differently than how they lined up at the beginning. Benalouan coming on just to change things at half-time. That was like for like, not so with Bellini moving infield.
Well, a weakish clearance came to Carmona. Brivio. Carmona. Stolen behind by Paluzza. Brivio's delivery. Cushioned out for Quagliarella. Lichtsteiner. Padoini. Pogba. It's bounced kindly for Tevez. Nicely out by Carmona. Regathered by Pogba. Shifted on for Marchisio. Barzagli. Lichtsteiner. The Tunisian Benalouan once more. Morales. Arabia. A free kick, I think, on the advice of the referee's assistant.
Seems slightly generous. I wonder whether Peluso just catches Estigarribia here involuntarily. It is a foul. Left arm makes contact with Atalanta's right winger. This is good defending actually from Beneluan. A lot of composure. Everyone thought he was going to go back to Consigli in the end. Reversed it and just played his way out of defence.
11 minutes for Atalanta to try and poop the party. Morales with their free kick. Up into the air by Quagliarella. Ball to hand. That's what the referee thought. Hoisted wide again for Bonaventura. By Baselli. Sturari untroubled.
I've been disappointed with Atalanta in the final third. They haven't made Sturari work at all, really. In an occasion where Juventus' intensity levels, as we've said ample times tonight, has been particularly low, you would have thought that Atalanta, given the possession that they've managed to achieve in the first two-thirds, would have created something of note, but they haven't.
Well, if their away forward had been anything like par, Atalanta, they really could have had a substantial top half sort of a season, but their record on their travels has been really pretty grim. Just 4 away wins all season. Sassuolo have as many away points as Atalanta do. Chiellini. Peluso did well to get there, but Nika nicked it from him. But there isn't a better home record than that currently being enjoyed by Antonio Conte, who, as his boss said, once they were crowned champions yesterday, said again, really, a winning mentality he's brought to the club since his first day in Vinovo. Rivio. Ventura. Morales. Nika. Estigarribia. Clouted out by Ogbonna. Taken back by Estigarribia. Nika. He wants a corner, and he's got his way.
Still, Atalanta can't get in behind that Juventus defence. They have defended really well, in fairness to them. That back five kept a good line, a good shape, much better than they did against Sassuolo last week.
Morales with the outswinger, missed by Pogba. Baselli, in by Brivio, and out again for Tevez. Can run at Nika and away from Nika. Not away from Bellini, saying every goal counts at the top of the Barclays Premier League, and Liverpool have conceded one now at Selhurst Park. It is Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 3. Delaney with a goal that might turn out to be more important than it looks in the context of just that game. 11 minutes from time. Pogba, not a space for Lichtsteiner, face to face with Brivio. Lichtsteiner again, Tevez. Never mind goal difference, Liverpool are struggling to keep hold of their 3-goal lead at Selhurst Park. A 3-goal lead has become a 1-goal lead. Gale with the latest for Palace, and with 9 minutes to play, it's Palace 2, Liverpool 3.
Maxi Morales there, Atalanta's number 11, summing up their mood at the minute, just looking to the ground when Pogba skipped by him.
And the final Juventus change, with 6 minutes to play, sees the withdrawal of Stefan Lichtsteiner, and his replacement by Simone Pepe, who falls into the same category as several others who've been involved from the start or from the bench tonight. Although he is rather more deeply in the category of fringe player, insofar as this is his first team appearance in Serie A this season. Simone Pepe, his 4th season at the club since leaving Udinese, has been on the sidelines for all of it until now, and is allowed 5 minutes of limelight in their happiest hour.
And he's a player they've missed, you know, Peter, throughout the course of the season, particularly in Europe, where Antonio Conte would have liked that change in formation, and he's the only player really that allows him to play with a wide attacking player, allows him to play a 4-3-3, so still to keep the balance of that midfield as it is. So successful has it been. I think sometimes in Europe it would have helped those options, as well the transfer market this summer.
Nico's throw. Dennis. Bonaventura. Brivio. Bellini. So 4 minutes away from 96 points, without the need to ask Buffon or Pirlo to break sweat. Morales. Decent hit, which Storari had to get across to deny Pazelli.
It was a good strike. Storari had to keep his eye on it. I'm surprised as much as anything Atalanta haven't threatened anything in this second half. Just wondering whether that was going to hit Ogbonna, take a nasty deflection. Storari kept his eye on the ball right to the end.
Nika. And shin to shin with Peluso. The decision has gone Juventus's way. The last 13 years then, this will be 19 matches between Juventus and Atalanta, of which Juve have won 17 and drawn 2. It's a bit of a can we play you every week fixture for them. Bonaventura. Brivio. Carmona. Jenny's turning and leaving a little in on Barzali.
I was also wondering whether Dennis was offside as the ball gets played round the corner. Nice little idea. He's not, he's well onside. Foul goes against him. Slightly unfortunately, didn't mean to clip Barzagli, just coming together as the two players crossed over.
time we see the bench, we're reminded of the depth available to Conte and Juventus. Just Pirlo and Buffon who haven't played tonight, but Vidal and Asamoah, Isla, Llorente, Caceres. So it has been an end of season somewhat clouded by their failure to reach their own Europa League final. They would love to have had that to crown it with. But that is really the only blot on the landscape. Next season, as we've said 2 or 3 times this evening, next season they've got to crack Europe again, as they used to.
I also wonder, just thinking a little bit further ahead, how long Antonio Conte can get that intensity levels from these sort of players. And we heard Pep Guardiola when he left Barcelona saying it's only so long that the same players can hear the same warnings, the same teachings. And Antonio Conte, the way he trains, the way he has his teams playing, you have to be focused all the time, 24/7. It's quite taxing on players. Just wonder how much longer he can get things out of Buffon and Pirlo and Chiellini and people like that who have been instrumental in this success that Juve have had of late.
Wow, I've just been given some news which has a massive impact on the Barclays Premier League title race. Palace have equalised 2 minutes from time, 3-3 Gale. Here's Tevez for Juventus, failing to pierce. And Crystal Palace have, on the face of it, just handed it to Manchester City.
Struggling to comprehend what's happened there. Liverpool 3-0 up, looking to add to the goal difference.
That's staggering. Hard for us to comment on one game whilst watching another, but I wonder whether they were so intent on adding to their goal difference that they forgot the other end of the field. But anyway, that's guessing.
Well, had it not been for that injury to Yepes, and of course, as you said, Peter, we hope he is very much okay. There would have been hardly any stoppage time at all. I think the referee would have been more than happy, as would both sets of players. He definitely would have been, to make sure that that record is intact. And they're well on course for 100 points if the referee had given no stoppage time at all.
But eased off it by Nika. 2 minutes of 4 scheduled stoppage time minutes to play. No need to bite those nails.
She must be a Liverpool man.
Yeah. Pepe. End of, by regular standards, a relatively gentle evening's work for these Juventus players. I imagine they are going to take some dragging off the field. They will milk this applause and join in the songs and party for as long as they're permitted. Marcelli. Still time for a spoiler.
Saw Paul Pogba pull up there, just slid on the turf. Easy to pick up a groin injury when that happens. Just moving a little bit gingerly there on your screen.
Be more of a worry for France than Juventus. Pogba and Quagliarella and Tevez to crown it. The crown slipped.
Well, the only reason Quagliarella tries to pick out Tevez is because they're trying to get him the top goal scorer award, because otherwise Quagliarella, given this chance out of his feet and try and make that 2-0, Desperate to look for Tevez. Poor finish.
Little matter, Italy is black and white again. For the third year running, there is no grey area. Juventus unambiguously, powerfully, adeptly in everything they have done, surely, certainly, and stylishly. Tonight, uncharacteristic of what has gone before. A game without intensity, with only late purpose, with the goal that it craved eventually, courtesy of Simone Paduin against his former employers. Atalanta, once they've shaken hands, will troop off and remember, perhaps with some fondness, their bit part on this celebratory evening. But those 40,000 people in the Juventus stadium, and those 11, those 20, those 25 who have been his charges, will stay and enjoy. The record books insist that this is their 30th title. They insist it's their 32nd. No one is too concerned with arguing now. It is their third in a row. They are the modern giants, as they were the giants of the 30s. And who's to say that 4 and 5 won't follow? Conte, 5 times a Scudetto champion as a Juventus player, now 3 as a manager, arm in arm with the players who so admire him, so respond to him, and now dance in step with him. Very good and unbeaten in 2012. Even better in 2013, and better still in search of 100 points in 2014. They're a team which has sometimes touched perfection, but has always sought to improve on it. How much better can they get, Richard?
Well, if they go out to the transfer market and they give Antonio Conte more options, particularly in attacking areas, maybe a couple of orthodox fullbacks as well, then they could really become one of the best teams in Europe, no doubt about that. How much more they can achieve in Italy, I'm not sure. 100 points as well within their grasp this year. That would be a fantastic achievement, a record, of course. But you look at Roma and how hard they pushed them this season, how excellent Roma have been, and still, really, let's be honest, couldn't get anywhere near them when it mattered most. And who's going to be the closest rival to them next season? That's the biggest question for me.
Well, you've spent a lifetime as a student of the Italian game. It's not an exaggeration to say that. Where do you put them in the context of the other great sides? The Milan side, the Hullit van Basten side, and then Inter's 5 in a row, Mancini and Mourinho, Napoli, Maradona, all of that sort of thing. Where does this Juventus side sit?
Well, up until you mentioned Maradona's Napoli, I would have argued with you that until they achieve something on the continent, then I don't think they can be considered one of the great Italian teams of all time. Harsh though that may be, because you look around Europe now, you look at Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona, teams like that who are outstanding. So it is difficult for Juventus to... And Sacchi did it, Inter did it more recently under Mourinho. So the onus does, and Ancelotti's Milan as well, let's not forget them, they were outstanding as well. So the question mark... even a semi-final or a final, then I still think that this group of players may have been considered to underachieve. But what they've achieved in Serie A, and from how long it's taken them to do it, is mightily impressive. Because let's not forget, not too long ago, because of that debate on whether it's 30 or 32 Scudetti they've had, they found themselves in Serie B. And thanks to this man here, they've hit the heights that this club is used to a lot sooner than I expected them to do. The next step is to achieve it in Europe.
Never mind 3 in a row. Pirlo goes way beyond that. Whoever he plays for wins. That seems to be the rule. Multiple winner now with Milan and then Juve. But the goalie, the guy who had the specs so inappropriately, if anyone doesn't need glasses, it's Gianluigi Buffon. He has now won 5 with Juventus, either side of the crisis. Pogba has become one of the wanted men of the continental game. And they have players who've come off their bench tonight, who would make the first 11 of most others in Serie A and indeed many other big clubs around Europe, Spain, England. It is, into whichever country you investigate, going to be a fascinating summer, because so many big clubs are saying they want so many big players, and there's only so many to go round, but quite a few of them are in that huddle, bouncing up and down on a night of Turin joy, because Juventus unequivocally have proved themselves the best again. They have been at times a delight to watch. Roma have pushed them brilliantly to the very brink before collapsing at the last, but no one is going to break that big white-teeth smile of Antonio Conte. Surrounded by players, he has gelled together into Italy's indisputably best unit.